Hello, everybody. This is Arjun, and I wanted to talk to you guys about. Oh, that's my phone. Oh crap! It's Paramount Pictures. I better get this. Hi guys. How's it going? Oh, right. There was that script I promised you for Sonic the Hedgehog the movie. Okay. Well, let me just give you a bit of a summary of what's happening. So, you got Sonic, and he's on this world, and there's an owl there because owls are cool, and the owl's named Longclaw, like a nice Game of Thrones reference. And Sonic is the most powerful thing in the multiverse, and because of that, people are out to get him. We're gonna leave it for the sequel who these people are. Like we're gonna leave it for the sequel, any of his background. And the people are out to get him, so Sonic is gonna leave his original world using rings because like he has to get from his world to the other world. So you have those ring things in the game, so you use them as portals to go from one dimension to another. And so he goes to Earth, and when he's on Earth, he goes to Montana, and there's a town in Montana called Green Hills, and there's a sheriff there, Tom Wachowski, who lives there with his wife, and he has dreams. Sorry, that's just Paramount, and they're coming after me again. And he has his dreams of being a sheriff in the big city. So it's kind of like one of these coming of age slice of life movies. So he wants to become a cop with the San Francisco Police Department. And Sonic thinks that he's part of the family of Tom and his wife because he's lonely. Because I was thinking like it's not as if like I just didn't like come up with this off the top of my head or something, but I wanted to sit you guys to save money on this movie. We're gonna make this super cheap, like $85 million for something this CGI intensive. So we're not gonna have Tails, we're not gonna have Knuckles, we're not gonna have Shadow, we're not gonna have Amy Rose. We're just gonna have Sonic and like some generic robot stuff that looks kind of lame. So so Sonic is like super sad because he doesn't have a friend, and I think this will market well with the NEAT demographic because they can really relate to that. So Sonic is sad because he doesn't have a friend. So he runs around really fast, and it creates a sonic boom, and it disables the electricity to the northwestern United States, the whole northwestern United States. So the U.S. government thinks it's a terrorist attack because they think everything's a terrorist attack, which might actually be kind of a reference, actually, now that I think about it, to Shadow the Hedgehog, where they call the alien invasion a terrorist attack. That was just some like clever reference on my part. So, Robotnik, yeah, he's coming. He's coming. So Robotnik is going to come in, and he works for the U.S. government. Um, he's a guy who works for the U.S. government. He's a professional mad scientist. The U.S. government has him do stuff for them for some reason. I don't really know like why, but he's just kind of there. He's there, and he has some robots, and his robots kind of look like eggs. And guys, I got a really good idea. You get Jim Carrey to play Robot. He'll work for cheap. He hasn't gotten work in like since Kick Ass 2. His life is a complete and utter mess. So he can just come on and chew scenery and basically just play himself, and that'll save you money. And I smell Oscar buzz. Um, so yeah, we'll get Jim Carrey to be Dr. Robotnik, and his thing will be that he really likes lattes, and he talks about how brilliant he is, and he's kind of like, yeah, okay, so what happens is like Robotnik's coming for Sonic, and Sonic's like, I gotta get out of here. So he's about to use a ring to go to the next planet, which is the Mushroom World, but he gets interrupted by the sheriff who shoots him with a trank gun, and so that makes him change his like mind. He starts thinking about LA for some reason, and so he opens a portal to LA, and then his pouch of rings somehow fall through the portal and land on top of a skyscraper in, oh sorry, it's San Francisco, not LA, San Francisco. Why would I think it's LA? So you know how like teen comedies and like frat boy movies test really well, and how they always are a good way to make money. We're gonna have a road trip. So Sonic and the sheriff have to journey across America to go and get the rings back. I mean, it's brilliant. It's We can have a lot of long car scenes. We can have some like hijinks where Sonic goes into like a biker bar. We can have like a chili dog reference or two. And we can have all this like glorious angst about how Sonic's lonely and stuff like that. I mean, like we gotta fill some time in this movie. I only got about 90 minutes of script, so if we put in like 15 minutes of driving scenes, and not take any time to like world build or develop the plot or anything, then I think that's going to be good. So they get to San Francisco and they meet up with his wife's family, who hate him, and it turns out that like Sonic's quills, like they have a lot of electricity in them, so Robotnik uses it to power like the super robot that can somehow keep up with Sonic, even though Sonic is um yeah, so Sonic and Robotnik fight, and he gets the rings back, and then he works with the family, and they beat up Robotnik back at Green Hills, and then they exile him to the Mushroom Planet. There was a Mushroom Planet at some point in the script, and and yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be very faithful to the original. Um, I think it's going to make fans really happy, but I think it's going to save us a whole lot of money. So if you guys can just give me some like 2 or 3 hours, I'll send over a finished copy of the script, with everything I described in, and maybe some extra stuff. Yeah, that sounds good to you too. Like I said, it'll save you guys a lot of money. Goodbye. Okay, so that's the plan for the script for Sonic the Hedgehog. Now let's get into the actual review. Oh, this movie. It's it's kind of disappointing because I would have preferred if it had been like a shit show, like Alone in the Dark, or like In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege tale. Like if they had have done it like that and just completely fucked it up, and it was like a disaster, like an Uwe Boll movie, I would have liked that. I would have also liked if they had tried a bit harder. But this was like the laziest, like most phoned in adaptation I've ever seen. Like they literally just took like the most generic movie tropes they could and just stuck Sonic in it. It's like when you're dealing with a character like Sonic, I get that a lot of like the deep lore or whatever is like really weird shit, or like won't appeal to an audience, or that kind of thing. But to me, that's just kind of an excuse for not putting in an effort. I mean, I think you probably could have adapted like the Sonic Adventure plot, or at least aspects of it. I mean, I would have been happy like to see Tails and Knuckles and Shadow and Amy, or at least some other characters other than Sonic on the screen. I mean, like, there's a couple ways they could have gone about this. They could have like maybe adopted the adventure plot. They could have had it like set in Mobius or wherever Sonic's from, and done something like, I don't know, Sonic Underground, or one of the TV shows that takes place there, and like do the whole thing in CG. Kind of do it like a Pixar movie. They could have done it like semi real world, which is like what we get with the like I said, the adventure games in that plot line with like Shadow the Hedgehog and that kind of thing. But they decided not to do any of that, and to just like play it safe in the lamest, most disappointing way possible. And I mean, like, I guess they put in a bit of effort. Like, they did do a number of Easter eggs, they did some shadows, that kind of thing. I'm gonna admit, like, the original games aren't really that much to go on in terms of making a movie. But it's just like I hate it when they do this shit. When they just take like a film, like a beloved film or video game character or whatever, and they just stick it in like the most like generic movie that I can think of, and just like this is the Sonic movie. It's gonna be fucking brilliant. Like they put as much effort into writing this film as I put into doing that crappy, horribly scripted skit. So like, was it a good movie? No, it was not good at all. Was it like horrible? No, but it was just bland, lame, and lazy. And it's not like I was expecting anything big from this, but to a certain extent, I would have preferred if it had just been a complete shit show, as opposed to what we wound up getting. Anyways, guys, hope you found that interesting, and I'll talk to you guys later.